What you need to do is be thankful for the life you got, you know what I'm saying?
They send pressure. Mayfield evades, in trouble. Stiff arm, throws. How did he do it on the first down?
Here comes the Hail Mary with the game on the line. And the ball is caught! Caught! It's a miracle! It's celebrated! Oh my goodness! This town is going crazy!
Goff protected, another completion, another short one. Bouncing off the tackle is Montgomery. What a catch and run! Still going.
Welcome, everyone, to What's the Play, Week 12. I am Corey, joined, as always, by co-host Lucas. Lucas, how are you? You're muted.
Oh, it happens when I switch from my AirPods, but
Yeah.
that intro video looks very nice. Good work, Corey.
Thank you. Did some more editing on it over the weekend, or kind of yesterday or today. Sorry, I meant to make it fill out the screen. Like I said last time, I ended up doing it on Instagram and thought it was going to work out like I thought, but pulled all the videos and everything onto my computer, and feel like it turned out pretty good. So I like it. It's good baseline. We'll probably maybe not so much this year, but maybe next year we'll update the videos as cool plays and things happen throughout the season. So glad to be here as always. It is Wednesday, November the 20th. As I said, it's week 12 for NFL and week 13 for college football. Interesting things happened over the weekend in both college and NFL. How did you I guess I'll go first. I had just a horrid NFL outcome for me this last week. Literally full faded. I've never had a worse NFL outcome personally. There was a couple bad beats that happened, and then some other ones were just pretty bad reads by me. Braylon Allen being a bad read, but Jared Goff going over 28.5 was pretty rat shit on a meaningless touchdown pass.
Yep.
Jesus. Cooper Rush, I know we played him. That was just a bad play, I guess, in general. I guess if you had him going for 300, congratulations. Yeah, overall, just my worst NFL week, I think, ever. So, how did you feel about the NFL slate last week?
Yeah, a couple pretty tough beats. That Jared Goff pass attempts. Man, he had 4 or 5 pass attempts at final drive. They're up 42-7.
6.
Yeah, that was a heartbreaking loss. I don't complain about bad beats very often, but I feel like just about every other team would have Hendon Hooker in that situation. So that was a tough loss.
Yeah.
A couple bad beats that I would say on a Sunday, but college football has been very good to me. I still haven't lost a action play. Got an action play going on right now. It's looking all right. So I'm checking FanDuel to see what they say about my live odds. If Buffalo scores this touchdown, I'm looking pretty good. I still haven't lost a MAC play, so I've turned the college football season around. I'm very happy about that.
Yeah. Well, the Maction just kind of keeps, doing that slow building. That's kind of what we do, right? Just slow builds. We're not really in the market for big, massive, lottos. Obviously, you and I play with our own real money. We don't get thousands and thousands of dollars of Discord money at all. So, this is just money that we put in long ago from our own money that we've got from our jobs and just kind of have built over time. So obviously we do a few lottos at, here and there, but obviously we're doing the show today, Wednesday, rather than, a normal Tuesday slate. Lucas will be gone on Friday, so no Friday show. He is going down to watch his Virginia Tech Hokies.
Yeah, I enjoyed having that bye week. That was a very pleasant Saturday. Not watching the Hokies. I'm gonna head down and watch them play Duke this weekend.
Should be a good
I'll do some
matchup.
college friends, so it'll be a very fun weekend. Maybe the game won't be very fun. It's an 8:00 game, so it's gonna be cold. I'm not very happy about that. I like the 3:30 games, but
Yeah.
it'll be a fun weekend.
Are you staying there for the whole weekend?
Just for a couple nights, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Be back for football Sunday.
Should be great. No, obviously the atmosphere should be hopefully pretty good. I don't know how the fans are feeling, kind of feeling like they're probably out. That I think they are out of, you have to have some big breaks to probably make it into the ACC championship game, but
Yeah, they're out of it.
Yeah.
Should be Miami and SMU.
Yep. So we'll get into it. I don't really have a whole lot to say about my NFL plays other than rat shit. One for my college plays. I know I lost I actually only had one play that I gave on here that won, and I just wasn't really anything that I liked much this last week because of the SEC playing their typical let's play Mercer in the middle of the week or in the middle of the season bullshit. So not too bad though on our winners, outright winners for the NFL week. I had Lions win, Packers barely a win, Patriots did not win. Browns was probably my worst pick there. Both you and I loved the Browns last week, thinking that they were going to be able to control the ground against a horrid Saints team, and that was not true at all. Vikings was a win. Colts was a win. That was too easy. I just felt like the Jets were never going to win that game. Wrong team favored. Should have just bet a money line personally.
Should have just bet them. Spread their money line.
Yeah.
I don't think either of us bet very many spreads. I probably bet 10 spreads this season, but
yeah, no,
that was an opportunity. Yeah. I really messed that one up.
Yep.
Plus
Miami.
3.5. I feel like wrong team was favored there, and we were right there.
Yep. Yeah. And they were actually blowing the Jets out pretty early and into the second half, I believe into the second half, and then they kind of let them come back. But, Miami, I think they won, right? Actually don't remember that game.
Yeah, they won.
Yeah. Steelers was a win. Great game. Defensively to watch, didn't score a touchdown, but won the game. So did enough there. 49ers, boy, I think they played their way out of the playoffs this weekend. We'll get into the winners and losers here in a minute, but
that's my loser right there.
That is my loser 49ers. As well. I remember in your Discord, as soon as I saw Bosa go out, I said, bet the Seahawks. And they immediately couldn't get any sort of pass rush on defense. We'll touch on that, but we'll keep going. Broncos, winner. Buffalo, winner. Chargers, winner. And the Texans, winner. So I was only wrong on 2 plays there. I don't remember if you had Patriots or Browns there. I think you had Browns as well, but
my Browns.
Yeah. Did you have Patriots as well?
No, Rams.
No, you had Rams. So yeah. Overall, we didn't play,
Yeah, this week we didn't play it, so it doesn't mean anything.
We didn't put them together for a round robin like an idiot. So congratulations, us. Beautiful job, well done. For $0. Fucking idiots. So let's just get into winners and losers of last week here. We want to start on the negative. Let's start with the losers. Who was your loser of maybe some losers of the week from college?
It was a fun college Saturday for me without the Hokies.
Yeah, very
big
stressful.
Season loser for the Hokies, but I got a couple season-long lottos. They're looking very, very good right now. If Boise State can make the playoffs, I think I've got a big lotto that might hit, and I got a lower odds one. If Ole Miss and Texas and everybody else ahead of them can just handle business, I should have a couple nice lottos.
Yeah.
So I'm a Boise State fan for the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, they got
Boise State in the playoffs.
They got a very favorable schedule. It's really easy.
Yep.
So should be
Yeah,
able
so
to
I
get
got plenty of winners in college. Everybody but Virginia Tech
Yeah.
and the MAC. Love the MAC.
But I have a lot of losers, but in reality, I think I'll probably just say all of college football is a loser. After last night, I'm very disappointed in the college football playoff committee. Kind of been semi-vocal about it on X. I don't understand how they've ranked some of these teams. You know, you got a 9-1 SMU and a 9-1 BYU, and they have SMU at 13 and BYU at 14. Those two teams literally played a head-to-head game, and BYU won at SMU. You know, I could probably spend all show going off on these assholes. I don't. They've essentially taken the approach that the games don't fucking matter. You know, it's a quite a large SEC and Big Ten bias, which, you know, I kind of knew was going to happen anyways. What I didn't expect was the bias of the Mountain West over, like, you know, the Big 12 or even the ACC. It's, you know, Missouri is ranked 23rd or something, or 24th. What the fuck are we doing here? Their best win is maybe Vanderbilt. Every ranked team they've played, which is 3, they got blown the shit out. So it's very clear what they're doing. They're keeping Missouri ranked so that then they can kind of push their narrative that Alabama has a ranked win over Missouri. But it's like, anyone with a brain knows what's going on. And it's just, you know, I think all of college football fans are losers in this with what's going on here. You're seeing a lot of arguments about, like, oh, do you think Georgia would beat Indiana? That's not the point. Because if that was the point, look at the NFL. The NFL is the best case, right? Was it last year that the Jaguars got in to the playoffs? I mean, they weren't that good. So it's like you could have picked probably 2, 3, 4, 5 other teams that were better than them, and you're going to make that argument that they would beat the Jaguars. Of course they did, or would, and did, right? But that's not how this works. The games you play have to matter. You know, they're letting the SEC. That's probably my biggest gripe, is letting the SEC slide by on these middle of the season bullshit where they're playing Mercers and, you know, teams that don't matter. Guess what? You have a bunch of these teams that are 8-2 right now. You know, it'd be super helpful if they played another game against each other in conference. So I don't know. I don't see that ever. I just don't think it's going to change. You know, you're seeing a lot of people complain, but it's all about money. Indiana was a great story for them until it became an annoyance of how they might keep Georgia out of the playoff at this point. So now you're seeing the slander of Indiana when you don't have to look real far. And literally last year, where they have Indiana's strength of schedule, strength of record, and number of ranked wins is exactly the same as what Michigan had last year. And because Michigan has a big M on the side of their helmet and is a brand, they were ranked 3rd. But here we have Indiana at, like, 7th or something like that. So it's complete bullshit. It's brand bias. It's yeah, I'll get off the soapbox here, but my God, it's mind blowing. And I don't know how you fix it, to be honest. So all of college football fans, we are losers in this scenario. Winners, I guess.
It's pretty simple. All about money.
It is, right? I mean, the case is look at Nate, or look at Texas. Texas is a great case here. Who have they actually beat? Vanderbilt's their best win. They have not beat anyone. And in reality, if they lose to Texas A&M, you could easily make a case that they shouldn't make the playoffs because their strength of schedule, horseshit. It's bad. It's bad. But they won't, because even if they lose, you're not going to keep Texas out of the playoff. You just won't. So I guess a winner I have of the week. Boy, I got to go Arizona State, even though that, kind of really screwed my Cyclones into what could potentially leave them out of the Big 12 championship game because of beating Kansas State. But, man, they were literally ranked or preseason, ranked to finish dead last in the Big 12. They're 8-2 right now and have essentially a college football playoff, playoff type game here, or, play out game, between BYU this weekend. And, big game. So congrats to them. 8-2, man. No one saw that one coming. So good win for them. Who do you got for a loser in the NFL?
I'm still thinking about that Jared Goff pass attempt. I wasn't thinking about it earlier, but you brought it up, and it's a brutal beat right there. It's only a 1-unit play, but I had a couple just bad reads, I feel like, on Sunday. Not that Jared Goff was one of them, but I feel like I a little bit disappointed with my performance. I feel like I very rarely have bad reads, but I had a couple on Sunday.
What do you feel like was your worst?
I didn't get my Pickett recap yet. Bet365 wasn't syncing right.
Yeah.
I had Debo Samuel. Oh, it's made so much sense without George Kittle, and Debo did absolutely nothing. So, I mean, the 49ers just as a whole, it's a huge loser for me.
I'm going to have to stick with the 49ers as well. They had it kind of all out in front of them. You got Christian back last week. But, again, we saw the same thing we've seen them, unfortunately, happen to them every week, which is they go out every week and their team just dies. And it was Bosa. The heart and soul of that defense. They just don't get a quality pass rush without him. And they, when he goes out with that oblique injury, you saw the Seahawks literally score 3 straight drives in a row and win the game. Not a lot you can do. I think it's going to take a miracle for them to make the playoffs now. I was actually looking at this on Monday, and I just don't see how they make it, because some of the things they would need to have happen is like, for instance, Arizona and the Seahawks play this weekend, and then they play in 2 or 3 weeks after that. It's like you essentially need the Seahawks to win both of those to bring down Arizona, but then all you've done is bring Seattle up, and that doesn't help them either. So maybe splitting, going 1-1 is the best case for them. I don't know. I just don't. And they got 2 big games still left. They probably got the hardest schedule remaining out of any of the teams in their division. They have to play the Bills at the Bills, and then I believe the Lions come to them the second to last game of the season. And we already saw what Dan Campbell does. He doesn't rest starters. He's a fucking prick. So you think he's gonna rest Jared Goff the whole game? You're out of your fucking mind. He'll play him all the way till fucking 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and they could be up 42-6, just like he did this last week. So I don't know. I may be slightly spiteful on that, but I can't believe that he did that given what happened to Aiden Hutchinson. And I don't know. I just don't get that train of thought. Like, you're up so big, rest your starters. Don't let them get hurt or banged up unnecessarily. Imagine if Amon-Ra tears his ACL on a stupid-ass catch over the middle. Like, what the hell? So, yeah, San Francisco, huge loser for me. Winner, though, actually, I have one more loser, and it's Jerry Jones, and I don't even need to say anything on that. So, winner, though, I guess it's the Lions. They're clearly the best team in the league, in my opinion. It's them and then a large gap. And now I'd probably put the Steelers at number 2. So solid performance by them as expected. So might be going 14-1.
I think
Who's
the
it?
Lions also are a big winner for me because I got a
Yeah.
Lions division winner ticket that's looking very good, and I had a Lions touchdown parlay on Sunday.
Yeah,
I
it
just
was a
wish I
nice
used my
hit.
boost on that one.
That was a really nice hit.
Big
Was that?
regret for me not using my boost on that.
Yep. Was that plus 800 or something?
Like plus 2,500. Yeah, I'm looking. The 49ers are minus 225 to miss the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, it's essentially a lock. So
You got to
I
beat
don't.
Green Bay or Buffalo or both.
Mhm. Probably both. If you're being honest. So yeah.
It's definitely not over, but definitely
Yeah.
not looking good for 49ers.
It's almost over.
If you beat Green Bay, if you take it 1 week at a time, you can still do it. But yeah, that was killer last week.
I do think I wonder what this will do. Because if they made the playoffs, I think that really changes what they do in the offseason, or not even just the playoffs, but the Super Bowl. Again, they probably pay Purdy. I don't know if they do it now. I don't know what they do. They'll probably still pay him, but I don't know if it'll be as much. It's not like he was the problem. Half their team kept dying. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, I guess, what they do in general. But we'll get into since it's kind of a dual show, let's just get into what especially, I guess, a Thursday night game, which we got.
Put up the weather right now.
Yeah. We
Weather
got
is
this
looking very gross tomorrow night in
very
Cleveland.
gross.
Totals dropped down from like 41.5 to 35.5.
36.5 right now.
Yeah, at 8 o'clock, there's an 85% chance of rain or sleet. Some kind of wintry mix. 20-mile-per-hour winds. So it's going to be a Maction weather game.
Yeah.
I mean, AFC North Maction, same kind of gross football in November, but yeah, that is my kind of football in November. This weather forecast. Can't see it very clearly on the screen, but rainy mixed game.
Yeah, right away, after what I saw from the Browns, I just don't understand this spread, how the Steelers are only 3.5. I feel like it's a trick to get you to bite on the Browns personally. We can take a look at the spread of the money here. But boy, I don't see how you can think the Browns are going to win. If they didn't beat the Saints, I would love an explanation from someone, who's listening or whatever, or just anyone in general, how they think that would be, they stay competitive. Boy, yeah, everyone is all over Pittsburgh. Jesus.
If you look at trends, Mike Tomlin's terrible on Thursday nights.
Is he?
Is that something that you think is significant? I think he's like 0-3 at Cleveland on Thursday night. Probably that's a Thursday night tradition. Go to Cleveland.
Outright loser or just against the spread?
Yeah, outright loser. Let's see if I can find his Thursday night record, but wasn't very good.
That's actually very surprising. But, I think that's important because
0-7 all time.
0-7?
Or 0-5.
0-5.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin is 2-8 on the road on Thursday nights. 0-5 divisional on Thursdays.
I'd like to look up.
So if you think that's significant, that will make you think Cleveland could cover and or win. I feel like Cleveland's much better than the record would show.
Yeah.
2 against 2-8. I feel like they're more of like a 4-6 kind of team. I feel like they're definitely not down there with some of those other teams.
No. Well, that trend's important because obviously, yeah, I think the trend's important to at least, I don't think you throw it out, because obviously it was important last week against the Ravens, right? He owns the Ravens, so it's something to think about.
Basically, just bet the underdog in an AFC North game. You'll win more times than not. Just take the points.
Yeah, the only thing that's slightly concerning is that it doesn't even seem like that sharps are on Cleveland at all.
Probably on the total.
No, it's actually all to the under.
Sunday night, I guess I saw that total at 41.5. I feel like that's a little bit too high. I didn't even look at the weather yet. Maybe if I would have looked at the weather, I would have jumped on that under 41.5. So that's a mistake by me. Usually I check the weather.
Ben,
mine already moved.
Ben, who is we both follow him, and he's one of our followers as well. What was that stat? I swear he keeps bringing up about first half unders or something. You know what I'm talking about?
You mean on Thursdays or?
Yes.
No?
Yeah. Is it?
Well, I know the 9:30 a.m. international games. I know
is that what it was?
On a crazy under streak, especially first half.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, it's like 0-8 the last 2 years combined. First half international unders. Of course, this isn't an international game, but
right.
I know that's one of the trends I've been talking about. I'm not sure about Thursdays. It's probably somewhat similar.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe I was off on what I was thinking or remembering. I was thinking he mentioned something about the under being, kept heading in the first half unders for the Thursday night games and stuff.
It makes sense. I'm sure what you've seen.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably just mixing it up is what's happening here. So, not a big deal. Whatever. Is there any? What's your first thoughts on this game? I almost had to laugh because I saw somebody like pushing George Pickens. They're like, because his line I think is 55.
Well, there you go. That's the thing. I wouldn't bet anything in the passing or receiving game.
Yeah, it's already up to 58. But
yeah, if you wouldn't look at the weather, you'd say, 58.5. That's a great spot. You could look at Jameis Winston 217.5. Mm-hmm. Wilson at 186.5.
Yeah, he's like, wow, this line doesn't make any sense. Dude has 12,000 followers, and you're saying it doesn't make sense. Well, it does because
I'm not sure who you're talking about, but I think this is the first extremely gross weather game of the season in the NFL. Can't think of another extremely gross game yet.
Was there a Jets one that was?
There's one windy game, yeah. I remember that Broncos Jets game. Pretty high wind. I played that Garrett Wilson.
Oh yeah. But that didn't really.
What did they lose? Did they lose like 10-9? The Jets. It was something very crazy.
No, it didn't really.
I know they lost by like 1 point, 1 to 2 points, but
yeah, but it didn't really affect them all that much. Because both those guys had cannons for arms, so they just cut through the wind. But
I mean, like a wind and rain game, like
nothing like this.
Haven't nothing extremely gross yet. We'll get plenty more in the next couple months, but especially this time of the year, you always have to check the weather. It's one of the first things I do. Usually on Wednesdays, I haven't actually done it yet. I didn't take my own advice. I haven't checked the weather yet for this weekend. It's a mistake by me.
The one thing that was because of the weather that would stand out to me, just immediately is Jaylen Warren.
Yeah.
I think they're going to use him that way anyways. They have and continue to use him this way. Oh, what is on my screen? Shit.
The only props I look at would be the running backs.
Right here. Look at this. This year, you may say, oh, it's only 50%, but 27, 29. They're going to be throwing out of the backfield with crappy weather, just to try and get any type of movement. Maybe it's receptions because maybe they're not going to be able to get free very much. So maybe you take take receptions. That wouldn't be at 100 at 105. I don't know if that's true. I guess we should come over here to FanDuel, but yeah, 2.5 plus 116. Boy, I don't know. That seems pretty solid value there.
Even 2+ for a builder.
Yeah, I would really be looking at taking someone out of the backfield. Najee Harris caught 4 last week. Yeah, I just think if they're going to be trying to pass the ball at all, it's going to be their running back out of the back. So
yeah, I'd only bet a running back in this game.
Not for yards on the ground. I don't even know what the rushing props are. 66, 52. Nothing. I mean, I wouldn't take any of that. I don't know. I'll probably kick around Jaylen Warren's receiving yards. I don't want to wait too long, but I just don't know how that. Problem is, we're still, maybe look at the weather radar to see how bad it gets, I guess. Because rain generally doesn't affect them on its own. It's just rain and wind, which did you say it was going to be windy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a couple things to think may just be a damn near unbettable game, but they're going to.
Well, that's probably more so the case.
Yeah, it's the real play may be something like I wish you could do. Where's it at here? You could probably do Jaylen Warren, like 2 receptions, and then just bump up the over under.
Yeah.
Do they do first half over unders? Can you do alts on these?
Can't do the alt. It's the regular line.
Wow. 7, 9. Jesus. Wow.
Actually, you can. You just can't SGP it.
Oh, you can?
No, you can't SGP the alt total. It's the regular total.
Damn. Wow. Yeah, so then I guess you would yeah, I would just do the alt total. I mean, my God. Just pick something easy. I don't even know. What's this get you? Minus 130. It's not going over 40. This game's going to be like maybe 17-13 or something. Be my guess. Yeah, I don't know. You have anything else you want to talk about on this one, or kind of just gross as is? No? All right.
Move on to a better game. I'm sure I'll have a builder for that, like the running backs, but not at the regular line.
Yeah.
We're slowly getting some props for some of these games. Yeah,
that's kind of the hard thing about some of these, as doing the show on a Wednesday here rather than on a Friday. Don't have any like official prop lines to give out. Got the Vikings or the Bears. What's your thoughts initially on this game?
A week ago, I said the Bears aren't going to win another game the rest of the season. Of course, they looked much better last Sunday than I expected, which is what normally happens when you fire a coordinator or head coach.
Yep.
I think their offense looked much better. They went for it on a couple 4th downs, and Caleb Williams is using his legs. He hasn't ran too much over the last several weeks. He was running a lot on Sunday. But I still like Minnesota. I feel like the Bears likely won't win another game this season. I want to see if I can find their win total. FanDuel didn't post it last week. Oh, they do have it now. 5.5 just to the over.
Just the over. Wow. Okay. kind of surprising.
So like I do look, I said a week ago they aren't going to win another game this season. I will stand by that case. Maybe they'll win one more game, but probably not two. I honestly might bet that under 5.5 wins for the Bears. Because they have a pretty brutal schedule coming up. A lot
Yeah.
of divisional games. They're 4-6, could easily lose out. 4-2 to 4-13.
What's your thoughts on Justin Jefferson here? I mean, his line is essentially kind of right at where he's been for the year.
But now I like TJ Hawkinson at 35.5. I didn't see him posted earlier. 2 weeks ago it was Jefferson. 2 weeks ago it was Hawkinson. Last week it was Jefferson. So you got to pick one or the other. Of
Well,
course, Jordan Addison had a great game last Sunday too. But
you can't do it right now. My thought to probably cover your ass is you play Justin at like 60 or 70, and then you play Hawkinson at 25.
you
That
might be
way
able to do that.
yeah, that way you're kind of covered, assuming that you don't know who it's going to be, right? It could be one or the other. So rather than, I guess, risk it in a way, I don't know if DraftKings has
No weather concerns in that game.
Yeah.
Regular November day in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up an excellent point. At this time of the year, if you're not checking the weather, then you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah, you cannot place a bet without checking the weather beforehand.
Yeah, you just can't. Wow. If you like Justin Jefferson, though, he is 80.5 on DraftKings, where he's 82.
So it looks like no other weather concerns besides tomorrow night.
Which is good. Yeah, I don't see, but the
Depending
problem.
on who you ask, I feel like weather gets you another advantage is a better.
Yes. Why am I going to bet 365? You can't do 60 or 70 there. Waste my time. I don't know. I might try to. I'll probably look around some of these other books here. I do like Jefferson straight if I can get him at 80 though, because that's 2 yards of CLV before anything's really happened. 80.5 again on BetMGM. Boy, that looks better and better. TJ Hawkinson, 25. What does that come out to? The fuck? Yeah, it's plus 100 if you did here on BetMGM, but if you did Jefferson 75 and Hawkinson's 25, so I don't know, something to kick around. That's likely what's going to be my plan is playing those two guys together. Although I do like him at 80 right away. What was he on DraftKings? Sorry, I didn't mean to. Minus 115. So we'll move unless there's anything else you want to talk about.
Do they have Caleb Williams rushing? Not yet.
No, that's
Could be a good look.
Yeah, we're kind of in this weird problem area here where there's not going to be a lot of props. So you really got to just, for those who are listening, you just got to probably write these down and unfortunately keep an eye on it. See, there's no props here for the Buccaneers Giants.
Other places, FanDuel's usually last to post.
Yeah.
I bet Mike Evans receiving yards. Just before we get on here. Got Mike Evans over 50.5. That's my first bet for week 12.
On Bet365, I believe.
Yep.
So obviously he's going to be back this week. Should be probably highly targeted, in my opinion. One of the, really going to be one of the only guys that he can go to. Baker's going to go to. I don't see the Giants winning another game this year, except for maybe one. It's not going to be this one. I can promise you that. So, You think they blow them out and maybe Baker's under passing yards?
That's the thing. I kind of do like the Giants to hang around in this game.
Really?
First game with DeVito back. I feel like they can. I feel like they might cover the spread.
Oh boy,
At the same point, they're kind of tanking at this point.
I just don't think they're gonna want to. I just don't see how they would want to risk.
Well, they don't
that.
want to win a game, but I feel like DeVito might ball out this week.
Yeah, his projected line on props is obviously 181. No data available.
He might ball out this week. I kind of like that over. If it is 181.5.
Yeah, I guess it just kind of depends. If you think they're going to hang around, then Baker's going to pass a lot more, and he's not going to. Or if it's going to be close, then yeah, he'll need to. He'll need to pass more. So I didn't know you could do this by grass and turf. That is actually interesting. I have no idea if there's any correlation to that, but so I need to look more into the Baker's passing yards. I think there's some filters you can do by game outcome. I thought there was, anyways. Like if it was a blowout or not. I know you can do that with NBA. Maybe you can't do that with NFL, I guess. So, all right. Well, we'll move on to the next game. Patriots travel to the Dolphins. Drake May.
Talked about it last week.
Yeah.
Dolphins are on Thanksgiving. The NFL really like the Dolphins to win this game.
Yep.
Dolphins and Packers on Thanksgiving night. Might not be the most entertaining game ever, but the Giants can, or if the Dolphins can win 3 in a row, the record wouldn't look terrible. If they'd be 5-6 on Thanksgiving night. Of course, I'm going to be watching either way. Most people are going to be watching no matter what. But
yeah, right. There's at least some props for this game.
I like a couple of those. I like Jonnu Smith and Kayshon Boutte. Fun name to say.
Kayshon Boutte.
Yeah, I like Kayshon Boutte at 31.5. That looks a little bit low. Jonnu Smith, a little bit of a revenge game. And a nice game last month against the Patriots.
Well, you've seen Tyreek's line drop quite a bit throughout the year.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not betting Tyreek the rest of the year. I kind of think he goes under that.
Yeah, I don't.
He like 61 last week. He just barely went under his line.
I saw a meme that
like
said
17 the week before that.
Yeah, I saw a meme that was if it was like one column was if he got 100 yards receiving, and then the other column was if he'd been arrested the day of the game.
Yeah, he had a huge game week 1. I don't think he's had 100 yards since then.
He has not.
Not the normal Tyreek Hill season we've been accustomed to.
No. I do like that though.
Drake May rushing.
Yeah. I kind of thought he didn't hit that line last week. But he is a bit more of a mobile guy. So where the hell is it? Oh, here we go. And he went way under that line last week. So I'd have to double check what the Dolphins have given up against, like here we go. What they give up against the Bills, who's a much more running style quarterback. Not much. Josh Allen only had 2 of 7. That does not bode well for what I thought. Then the Rams, Matthew Stafford had 0 yards, but he's not a runner. And then last week they played the Raiders and gave up. Minshew had 7 yards. So maybe that's actually not as good as play as I thought, I guess. I thought the Dolphins were giving up more on the ground than that. Kyler Murray only had 19 yards. So Actually, maybe that's a terrible play. Now that I'm sitting here talking out loud.
That's kind of what we do on here. We talk out loud a little bit.
Yeah. Well, these are things you want to look
Makes sense
up.
a little bit more.
Yeah, and they played the Patriots earlier. Obviously, it wasn't going to be Drake May. It was Brissett. He got 10 yards. So, boy, I don't know. You'd almost want to play that at an under at that point. So,
I should stay away from quarterback rushing yards if they don't have like design plays like Richardson or Lamar. Like it's kind of a fluky kind of thing. Of course, you can have a good angle to say like this team gives up more scrambles, but
yeah, and that's
so like
normally
running
when
back receiving, quarterback rushing, it's kind of fluky plays. Like when you're counting on a scramble. Of course, Drake May is very mobile, but he just doesn't have the design running plays like some of these quarterbacks.
Yeah, like Lamar or Allen or Kyler Murray, right? So
yeah.
Yeah, I definitely like the Dolphins there to win, obviously, too, based on everything we talked about.
I kind of think New England can cover that, but definitely like Miami to win it.
True. Yeah, that's a fair point.
It can definitely be a 23-20 game.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I feel like the score might be closer than it should be, but
yeah. Well, backdoor Patriots cover, I can already see.
Yeah, exactly. It'll probably be like a backdoor cover. But the game was never ever in doubt, sort of
touchdown
thing.
with 23 seconds to go. Yeah, I can see it now.
All right. Titans.
Honestly, I did that. Dolphins money line, Patriots alt spread. You can get like plus 14.5 or something. And Dolphins money line. Honestly, could be a good look.
I'm surprised they're only.
I do like the Bucks money line. I feel like I'm kind of overthinking that.
I definitely think you're overthinking that.
But we like to talk out loud on this.
Yeah. It's good to.
Yeah, if you did Dolphins money line, Patriots plus 14.5, that's almost even money. Maybe that's overthinking it too, but I like New England to hang around and Miami to win it.
What did you say?
Yeah, but we can.
Yeah.
Dolphins money line, Patriots plus 14.5.
Oh, Patriots plus 14.5. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dolphins win by 1-14.
Yeah.
I feel like that definitely hits, but maybe that's overthinking it.
Yeah.
Because that's not the best game on the slate. We can talk about a better game.
No. I don't do. I mean,
probably
for one, I don't.
Tennessee Titans and Houston Texans.
Yeah.
Of course, I normally try to stay away from divisional games, just because teams know each other so well, and even a team like the Titans can come into Houston and win. I don't think they're going to, but divisional games always have some kind of fluky play. So I generally try to stay away from them.
Yeah, and of course, there's no props.
So I like the Texans to win, but
yeah,
I don't know where you look at it. Props. You can go to Nico Collins. I saw him at like 71.5, but
he was never.
And McDuffie might be in his Duffy.
It was last week. We got caught up in playing his over first week back, but boy, that was cooked right from the beginning.
That's another tough beat. 77-yard touchdown call back, and he had a 20-yard reception.
Oh God, I'm having flashbacks. I fucking forgot about this.
So that's 97 yards that he could have had.
Literally the first play of the goddamn game, 77-yard touchdown. It would have been over. And then you know what? I'm pretty sure
he wasn't going to cash after that. I was well aware.
Yeah. After that, I was like, he's cooked. And he didn't play. I'm 99% positive he didn't play the rest of that drive that they went and scored. I'm 99% positive.
Yeah, not that first drive. He didn't after that long ass play.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't go back in, and I was like, "Yeah, he's fucking cooked. He is so cooked." I mean, my God, dude, took it to the house, and then that's the outcome. Just the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. Oh God, I do want to talk about the Chiefs Panthers.
I'm actually excited for that game. I feel like that could be a fun game for props. Wish we had prop lines for that game.
It's always the gross ones.
It is not impossible that Carolina wins that game. Obviously, there's a pretty big talent mismatch, but Man, that public's all over Kansas City. Of course, everyone's gonna have Chiefs money line into play. It is not impossible that Carolina wins that game. I'm not saying they're doing it, but I like a few Panthers props. I want to see some Panthers props.
If Bryce Young
Jonathan Brooks is finally going to play.
Who?
Yeah, I got that Jonathan Brooks season under yards. I just need him to play one snap, and he's going to cash for me.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about this game. I want to see Jonathan Brooks finally on the field.
Yeah.
He can definitely be a Pro Bowl caliber running back. Not this
Texas
season,
Tech,
of course, but
Texas Tech guy.
Texas
Tech, isn't he? Jonathan Brooks, wasn't that the running back from Texas Tech?
The Texas.
I'm almost maybe they have a running back named that.
Another Jonathan Brooks?
Yes. Texas Tech running back.
I feel like there's a lot of props.
Taj Brooks.
Oh yeah, Taj Brooks.
Sorry. Getting my Brookses mixed up here.
Of course, I'm a cokehead. Jalen Coker, Xavier Legette, Jatavion Sanders. There's a lot of props in this game. I feel like you can definitely make a nice little SGP in this game. I think I might do that.
I know you said that you thought the Panthers could win. I don't think that happens, especially after losing last week. There's no fucking way.
Panthers are off a bye week. They got plenty of momentum. I feel like maybe they win at halftime. They might be leading at halftime. Like 14-10 at half.
Boy, I don't even think that. I think you're going to get a much more focused Mahomes team, and I think they just absolutely railroad them, especially if Bryce Young.
The Chiefs are that good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they're great. I just think that
I don't think the Panthers are that awful. Which kind of sucks because I have that season under wins. It's looking a little bit sweaty right now.
See, I think that's where we differ because I do think the Panthers are that bad. They don't have.
I don't think they're nearly as bad as their record right now.
Yeah, they don't have a quarterback, so I think they're exactly what they are. But
I like what I've seen from Bryce Young since he came back.
Oh God, I feel like I just internally vomited you saying that.
I like what I've seen from Bryce Young. If he can keep this up, of course, the Chiefs has a outstanding top 5 defense. This is a huge test for him, but man, if Bryce Young can, well, he has the past couple games. He's got his confidence back. I feel like these young rookie receivers. I love all those guys: Legette, Coker, and Sanders.
Yeah. He's obviously looking better, that's for sure.
It's going to be a fun team to bet on.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of the Lions of like 2 or 3 seasons ago.
Yeah. I'll give you he's looked better,
3 seasons ago.
That's about all I can secede.
Obviously not at quarterback, but at the skill positions, they got some very fun skill positions.
Yeah.
All comes out of quarterback, as everybody knows.
Yeah, minus 650 is going to just ruin people's day if they lose. What's
Although the Cowboys are not going to beat the Commanders. We can move on to that game.
Nothing there for you?
Well, I like the Commanders. I'm definitely going to have the Commanders in some kind of play.
Yeah. I think it's surely tank time for the Cowboys, right?
I don't even think they're taking it. I just think they're that bad. I definitely don't think that they're tanking right now. I just think that they're that bad right now. If they were tanking, they'd start Trey Lance. See what you got in Trey Lance. I don't know why they're still going with Cooper Rush.
Yeah, what was yesterday or Monday?
I mean, Cooper Rush probably is a better quarterback than Trey Lance. I mean, that's unfortunately not a very high bar. I'm not all out on Trey Lance. I want to see Trey Lance on the football field. We've barely seen any Trey Lance on any level.
Yeah, and well, that's why I think it's hard
to combine or something crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, Trey Lance can definitely be a starting quarterback in the NFL. He literally just needs reps, and it's the perfect time to get Trey Lance some reps.
Yes.
And if he sucks, that's all right. You lose and get a good draft pick. If he's all right, then maybe you actually have something.
That's the thing.
So it's just confusing to start Cooper Rush to me.
That's the thing. there's no way they think Cooper Rush is the guy, right? Like long term.
But Cooper Rush is 30, Trey Lance is 24. I mean,
Yeah.
this is it for
Yes.
Trey Lance. This is why you traded for Trey Lance, I would assume. Like,
Exactly. So
of
it's
course, you
just
don't plan for Prescott to be out for the season, but this is the
made
perfect time to start Lance.
it made
confusing to me.
perfect sense last week for Trey to play essentially the whole game. Because as you said, I like Trey Lance. I think he has all of the talent in the world.
Just need reps.
From
Just
what we've
has to play.
seen, yeah, the dude has got to get reps. And I mean, I also think you surely should have had to been realistic with yourself and say, we're losing to the Texans. So even if he throws a shitload of picks or something, it's no harm, no foul. We were going to lose anyways. But, you go in with Trey Lance, say, look, dude, just go play. Go out there and do what you can do. And then we'll watch film on Tuesday and we'll get better. And they didn't play him at all. And in fact, didn't they play someone else for a few snaps? So it made even less sense. Yeah, I don't know what the hell their plan is, because regardless if they're like, officially, unofficially tanking, they are just as bad. So you kind of need to decide, like, if you're going to go into the draft and what you're going to do. Obviously they're not going to pick up a quarterback because they just paid Dak, which was, looking
He said to be a
worse.
free agent, I think.
No, didn't they just pay him? That was why Jerry, I thought, was being all cheap, was because he just paid Dak and he didn't, and then he paid CeeDee Lamb.
You got to pay Micah Parsons.
Yep. I don't know. Regardless, that's why you drafted, or the best thing you said is that's why you went and got him. So fucking play him. I don't know. Maybe when lines come up. Actually, let's take a quick look.
If you look at the box score, it seemed like Cooper Rush had a decent game. Of course, that's not the case if you actually watched it.
We got
Devontae Turpin had that one long ass touchdown and
64 yards.
Texans just in quarters the entire game, letting them do those dump offs. I mean, if you just look at the box score, Cooper Rush had a decent game last Monday, but if you actually watch the game, it's just a wasted game.
Stupid.
I mean, I'm an Eagles fan. I love Jerry Jones. Hope Jerry Jones is around forever. He's been holding the Cowboys back my entire life.
Phenomenal for him.
Literally.
All right.
Not going to fire himself, but
yeah. You
this
got
could be a fun game.
Yeah, this should be a good game. The Lions Colts. I think
I'm supposed to say this without lines for this game, but I feel like you can definitely get a lot of props in this game.
Yes. Well, you keep smashing the same game props here.
This can definitely be the same game right here. Yeah, total's 50.5. That's a very high total. Of course, indoors, no weather concerns, but I very much like what I saw from Anthony Richardson last week. Maybe his best game as a pro. He looked outstanding throwing. He looked outstanding running. Of course, the Jets defense is kind of quit at this point.
Yeah.
Lions also have an elite defense. This will be a huge test for Anthony Richardson. I can't wait to watch this game.
Boy, and with 95% of the bets making up 95% of the money, wouldn't it just be horrendous if the Lions lost?
I can see it happening.
Yeah, of course. I can too. This line really tells you a few things in a lot of ways, but unfortunately, it's telling you two different things. At 7.5, you think, oh, fuck, it's the Colts, right? It's got to be the Colts.
Probably.
Because they're like, why are they giving you the benefit of the doubt on the hook? That's a good thing. But then the other thing, you're sitting there and you're telling yourself, well, why is the line only 7.5 if the Lions are that good? So then it makes me think that it's actually the Lions minus 7.5. I would never bet the spread, but
I wouldn't. Or the money line.
Yeah, or the money line, in this game.
Just take some props in this game. At 50.5, you're going to get gold mine for props, I would hope.
Yeah.
For both teams.
Montgomery touchdown.
And then take your pick for the lines. I mean,
Just
or just bet all of them.
put
Just
shit
bet every
together.
line.
Yeah, put shit together and it's gonna hit.
Just click buttons. Click any lines. You should be all right.
Literally. I think I'd probably
Yeah.
like Laporta in that game over maybe any of the receivers, though. I don't know. That's just an off the cuff thing. I would need to look more into that. I know Williams, was it Williams? Jameson Williams. He had a
You were
pretty
talking
good.
about turf, the grass versus turf. I wonder if that would show anything for someone like Jahmyr Gibbs on that turf.
Well,
Jameson Williams.
luckily,
And how fast is Jahmyr Gibbs going to look on that turf?
fucking
Man, how fast did he look Sunday? I mean, he looks like that every Sunday, but it's kind of like the defense is running in slow motion when Jahmyr Gibbs gets a little
there you
swing
go.
pass and he's just going.
75% of the time on turf.
Yeah, is there a difference there? 75% on turf?
He's only played on grass
two
twice.
games you could do over the last couple seasons. Would it show anything different?
2023 never hit that line.
So he's never hit that line on grass. I mean, the rushing yards. Maybe you could do receiving yards, combined line, but that's actually kind of interesting. Of course, their home games are on turf, but
right. You're saying receiving?
Yeah, if you think that's a significant factor, grass versus turf, that kind of adds up.
Never on grass. Quite a few times on
that's
turf.
A factor. That's the data would support that. Jahmyr Gibbs is a cheat code with that turf.
Yeah, I mean he's going to stop.
Jameson Williams too.
He's going to stop and
he's
go.
one of my top 5 players to watch. He is so fun to watch when he gets a swing pass and he's going.
Look at that, never on grass.
That's just this season, but last season.
Last 30 though.
1 out of 7 games.
Excuse me. No,
Granted, they don't play that many games on grass lines, but
boy,
it's kind of interesting if you think that's a significant factor. The data would support that.
I think it is when you're talking about these very fast players, right? Like it matters.
Now, what about Montgomery? I feel like he might be a grass player.
He's a grass player because he played Iowa State, and
will the data show that? I'm curious right now. There you go.
Look at that.
That really is.
And then if you look at turf, not that great in 2024.
That's kind of interesting.
So, I mean, even though he's still 50
the grass versus turf football is a little bit different. That's actually interesting that the data would show that. Support that theory.
That's because like I said, he played at Iowa State, and we have a grass field.
That's a different kind of football than
it 100% is.
Turf.
100%. I mean, obviously their running styles go into play there anyways, but like you're used to grass field, and then you look at Jahmyr Gibbs, who comes from Alabama, who plays on, I believe, their turf. So, But I think the bigger, really, in my opinion, this was the real interesting one here, was his receiving yards. Where's he at? Where'd he go? Maybe I'm already on him. No, I'm on David Montgomery. What happened here? Gibbs. Let's go to receiving yards. That turf thing was, I think that is very interesting. Essentially never on grass, almost always on turf. 50% of the time on turf. 2024, it's that's something to write down, folks. My opinion. I like that.
Maybe the same thing with Anthony Richardson or some of the Colts. If you like props.cash, and maybe you can play around with that. I might do that.
Yeah.
Turf versus grass.
We'll keep her moving here. Denver and the Raiders, Broncos and the Raiders. Probably a low-scoring, gross game.
Teams going in very opposite directions.
Yes, Broncos are.
I don't like the Broncos here. I don't know how you could bet the Raiders. Of course, in a divisional game, the teams always know each other very well, but two teams going in very opposite directions. I feel like the Broncos have a very good chance to make the playoffs. I'm very impressed with Bo Nix. Bo Nix has really played, I think, himself into the Rookie of the Year conversation. Jaden Daniels kind of ran away with it the first several weeks, but Bo Nix over the last few weeks that really impressed me.
Yeah, he's looking a lot more like the guy I thought he was coming out of college, and why I would have taken him as my quarterback, personally.
I wouldn't have, but good
Well,
for him.
Yeah, I definitely like him way more than I liked Williams. So, but I'm not a GM. I'm a couch coach. So,
Yeah, we're just couch coaches.
yeah. So, yeah, I don't know how you could bet the Raiders here.
I don't know how you can bet the Raiders. What you see to bet the Raiders here?
Yeah, and they've already
definitely double digits to bet the Raiders, and even then, I don't think I would do it.
And they've already
seen it going in very opposite directions.
Initially your thought might be you're a little worried that they haven't seen a good pass rusher, but they've played the Chiefs, and they got one of the better pass rushers in the game. So, I don't know. I think they'll have a plan for Crosby.
Maybe I'll bet Broncos money line, pair that with somebody else.
Yeah.
Or same game it with Bo Nix passing yards.
So if you go Broncos minus 2.5.
Because that would be one of my favorite teams to bet this week.
Well, I was seeing if you could get any juice reducer by doing 2.5, but it's minus 225. So you might as well just pick them.
Just do money line.
You just pick them to win at that point. That's asking to lose by 2.
I don't know if you'd pair them with the Bucks.
Yep.
I'm still overthinking the Bucks, but I mean, Commanders are free. The Cowboys are not losing. I'll die on that hill. It's not going to be minus 164. You have to do somebody else.
Here we go.
Even the Dolphins
minus 113.
If you really like the Bucks, I'm sure I will be on the Bucks by Sunday, but overthinking that one.
Yeah.
Of course, it's only Wednesday. Normally, we do this on Friday.
True.
But I'll have plenty of stuff. I'll try to tweet some stuff out this week.
Yeah, and if you wanted to, I wouldn't put the lines in there as we already talked about. But boy, if you felt good, go for it. I will not be doing that, and I will not be adding the Chiefs. Hell to the no. I guess the Dolphins would be the only other juice reducer I'd toss in there right off the bat, just based on what we talked about. Right? They're not losing leading up to the Thursday night game, in my opinion. So, and I just think that they're better than the Patriots in general. But are there any props then you're on that Denver game you were thinking about?
I mean, I don't think that game's going to be close. I feel like
it
might be a tough game for props.
Yeah.
Of course, estimate was at like 55.5 rushing yards pre-game. He had like 2 carries the first 3 quarters. He finished with 16 yards.
Yeah.
Vontae Williams, he had one carry for 1 yard 2 weeks ago, and then he had I don't know how many carries off the top of my head, but he had like 12 carries this past week.
Yeah.
So they're playing musical chairs with their running backs, and they do the same thing with kind of like the Lions. One running back plays one drive, one plays the next drive, and makes it tough to bet on when they're not as good as Montgomery and Gibbs, of course. But
yeah, when they're not as good,
that's a tough game for props. I feel like Broncos, and I wouldn't bet anything else.
Yeah,
and as long as Gardner Minshew's there, I have no interest in really any Raiders props. Even Brock Bowers would be a great look with most quarterbacks. With Gardner Minshew, I can't even do it. I don't think I can do it. I hate Gardner Minshew. I have a season under yards. I want to see if that's on pace. Hopefully Aiden O'Connell can come back and play sometime soon.
He's on pace to go over.
I'm not sure if he is. I want to check.
But
a season under yards, I'm going to check on my futures sometime soon. Maybe I can give an update next week. But
yeah.
I got plenty of free time next week. Thanksgiving. I'm looking forward to that.
Not to get sidetracked, are you taking most of next week off?
Yeah, I'm taking next week off. I'm going to go back and spend time with my family. Just enjoy the week. I sure need a week off. I'm very much looking forward to that. Heading down to see some friends this week for that Duke and Virginia Tech game. So hopefully a very fun weekend and next week for me. Not to get sidetracked, but I
yeah,
get
and
even
then
more locked in, hopefully, with
yeah,
the lab.
yeah, there you go. Then you'll just drive home from there. Yeah, that makes sense. So,
Yeah, so I'm in a good mood on this Wednesday evening.
yeah.
Just make it a couple more days.
Yes, hi Remy. We already kind of touched on the 49ers, man. I don't know. It just really depends on how that locker room rallies. Brock Purdy's was added to the injury report day to day. I would assume he plays. I don't even know who their backup is. But even with all the injuries, the line's telling you it's going to be close. I don't know what the weather would be. Have you looked at that one?
I didn't see any weather concern.
Okay. Yeah, so no weather concerns in Green Bay. Boy, I don't know. I wouldn't if
I feel like the Packers win this by 10 points, but that's just
I
because I
kinda
need the 49ers bad for one of my futures lottos. They're the one leg that's not looking good right now. I feel like Green Bay is certainly the better team. I certainly hope I'm wrong, but I feel like this is it for the 49ers.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at
Then
talent,
again, they've only had 2 games with McCaffrey. If they can take it one week at a time, I feel like they can do it. But yeah, I feel like Green Bay is a better team. They're at home. Yeah, Purdy's banged up. That's another reason I like Green Bay.
yeah.
But then again, the line hasn't moved, so
And I haven't
I'm really hoping the 49ers win this game. But with that, I already have enough action, I feel like, for this game. At least pregame. It could be a good live betting spot.
Yep, I haven't seen anything on Bosa yet either. So if he's back, problem is he could get hurt again. And if he plays the whole game, the thing is, they're going to get enough pass rush on Jordan Love, and he's going to do what he's been doing essentially all year, which is throw the ball away, which would be huge for the 49ers. But I don't know. I don't know. It's a toss-up, obviously. It's only 1.5. So I think they're going to try and run the ball, especially even if Purdy plays. I think they try and run. McCaffrey's probably rushing yards or rushing and receiving yards is probably the play, in my opinion. They're going to try and I just don't think you want Purdy getting hit a lot if he's already kind of hurt. So I guess, did I click in there to see if there's any props? Definitely not. So Cardinals and the Seahawks, big game, really. Arizona's 6-4, and you got Seattle sitting at 5-5 now. They do play twice in the next 3 weeks, but if Arizona can steal one on the road, boy, that would be big for them. What's your thoughts here?
So I thought Arizona was a sleeper team to go into this season, but they're even better than I expected this season. I feel like they could have been like a 6 or 7 win team at best, but they're the favorites to win the division right now. If they can win this game in Seattle, maybe even grow their lead in the NFC West. It's a logjam between those 4 NFC West teams. But
Yeah,
I was higher than most people on Arizona, but they're even better than I expected. With that being said, I feel like this is certainly deserves to be a pick 'em. I don't know who wins this game.
yeah.
I feel like this could definitely be, hopefully, a good SGP game. I feel like you can definitely be good props on this game.
Gino,
Either
Gino
running back,
passing yards is right away.
passing yards like Kenneth Walker or James Conner. It's a little bit tougher to do this on Wednesday without necessarily saying I'm betting this, but
yeah, it's hard to.
It's definitely a fun game. I'm not sure who wins this game. I guess I would lean Seattle at home, but I don't know. I do like what I've seen from Arizona.
I do like Seattle at home because there's a lot on the line for them. They're going to have. Do they call it the 12th man or something too?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think that crowd's going to be. They're going to know what's on the line here. If you get one here, you tie Arizona for first place. So, and then they got an easier game next week, and then they go to Arizona. So, I hesitate to call it a must win, but boy, it's close. Let me just pull up their schedule real quick. So they got the Cardinals at home, and then they play the Jets, and then they go to the Cardinals. Boy, if you could get a win here and then a win at the Jets, you've probably gained some traction on the Cardinals. The Cardinals play, obviously, Seattle this week, and then who's their in-between game? The Vikings. So, you might be able to get some ground on them if they go to Seattle or to Minnesota and lose. So, good spot, I guess. Good kind of if you're trying to think ahead or whatever, it wouldn't be a bad spot. So, doing this without props is fucking tough.
My Maction play just won.
Did it?
So I've not lost a Maction play. I haven't lost a Maction play in 2 seasons.
Jesus Christ. Was it?
Honestly, I don't even remember 3 seasons ago losing a Mac play, but you said I'm sure I probably did 3 seasons ago, but last season.
Was it close?
You said you verified I did not lose a Maction play. In the end, it didn't beat being close. I scored like 21 points in that last 5 minutes or 6 minutes.
Yeah.
I was following along on my phone. But yeah, my Maction play one. I'm the Maction guy. I love Maction. Haven't lost a Maction bet in possibly 2 or 3 seasons.
For sure, too. I don't
know about only parlays if I lost a Maction, but I don't recall losing one, but maybe I did lose one. Yeah, but last season, you can verify I did not lose a Maction bet. I'm 6-0 on the Mac this year, so go back to college football. Yeah, the Mac. I'll turn my college football season around. I'm very happy with that.
Yeah. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure, you haven't lost. I know you haven't lost in 2. I can't remember back to 3, so that's for sure. Jesus. Sunday night game, Eagles versus the Rams. Should be a good game, actually. A really good game. Wow, there's actually a few props in here. What do we got for rushing? Barkley and Kyrie.
I would waiting all day for Sunday night. Usually I'm not waiting all day for Sunday night, but this Sunday I will be.
Yeah. Be a good game to watch. You're an Eagles fan, so even, more fun to get into. So what's your thoughts here?
Huge test for the Eagles defense. The Eagles defense has been probably the best in the league over the last month.
Yeah.
Quinyon Mitchell against Puka Nacua, that's going to be one hell of a matchup. I mean, just as a football fan, I'm excited to watch this game. But, of course, as an Eagles fan, this is another huge test to go cross-country.
Right.
Great offense in the Rams. Defense has been lights out. Waiting all day for Sunday night. I'll be waiting all day for this one.
Going to be
that being said, I'm not sure what I'd bet on this game. As an Eagles fan, I generally try to stay away from the games to avoid the bias.
Yeah.
I feel like the Rams could definitely be a good spot.
You think he's going to –
normally don't bet Eagles games.
Yeah. Boy, I don't know. You don't like quarterback rushing yards, but that's kind of something I would almost play. Depends on what they come out with his line too. For Hurts. So
that's a little bit different because he gets some design runs.
Yeah.
Maybe not as much as he used to, but
they're projecting him at 38. Props.cash is. So wouldn't be a bad spot. I mean, he's the one game he's played against the Rams, which was last year. He had 72 yards, which is a lot. But the Rams don't give up, that much in rushing. They're actually 17th, so they're pretty good. 26th though in passing yards, giving up 245 a game. So maybe like an AJ Brown type play or something like that.
Yeah.
Again, it's hard
Another
to do.
good game where you can take your pick with the props.
Yeah, maybe like a 2-leg SGP type thing.
Yeah.
So like Hurts 25.
Saquon and AJ Brown.
Yeah. Take your pick on a runner, right? Saquon or Hurts at like 25, and then AJ Brown for like 50 or whatever. I don't know. Play around with it, but we're not. I don't even think it's worth talking about the Monday game. Really, it's so far out still. Baltimore and the Chargers.
That's also gonna be a fun game.
Yeah.
The Harbaugh Bowl.
The Harbaugh Bowl.
First time they've matched up since the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Was that 12 years ago? 11 years ago? I think 11 years ago now. Going on 12.
Yeah, I think it was 11. Boy, that's going to be a good game.
A very fun game to watch. I like the Ravens. I'll say that to start there.
Yeah, I do too, coming off a loss, even though they are traveling
I
cross
think that
country.
money line a little bit lower than minus 152.
Yeah, traveling cross country, I don't think it's going to matter too much. I think they're going to be pretty dialed. I thought I had this.
Lamar's going to get his interview with Lisa Salters. That's my bet. Ravens money line and Lamar Jackson to get that post game interview with Lisa Salters.
Thanks, Miss Lisa.
Appreciate you, Miss Lisa.
I appreciate you, Miss Lisa.
It's my favorite player, and he loves those post game interviews.
Other than the where they had back-to-back losses to start the season, they had a Chiefs loss, then they played the Raiders, lost 26-23. Then they come back and played at the Cowboys and won by 3. Then they lost to the Browns 29-24. Next week, crushed the Broncos 41-10. So I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but tells you they kind of definitely refocused, after their few losses that they've had. So I think just the Harbaugh matchup in general, I think, is just a nice touch here. So yeah, and you got two of the better, best quarterbacks in the league. And Herbert and Lamar are going to be going at it. I mean, hopefully they're slinging it around, just making crazy good plays. So,
again, it's tough to say this without props, but I like a lot of props in this game. I feel like Herbert passing yards.
Yeah.
Even Lamar passing yards.
Yep.
Put it on the number, but total at 50.5. Hopefully we get another outstanding game. A few good SGP games, of course. Hopefully is one of them.
Yeah, this could be a nice one for lottos, to be honest.
Yeah, this could definitely be a lotto game.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry first touchdown. It's plus 200.
First touchdown?
Well, probably is going to be plus 200. But
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be terrible odds, I'm sure.
I mean, it's going to be the first touchdown score. He is every single week, but
yeah. Yeah.
He scored every game this season so far. Remember 2 or 3 weeks ago, I talked about that FanDuel special. I think it was plus 2,500 to score in all 17 games.
Yes.
He scored in every game so far. I'm a little kind of regretting not betting that. I feel like that probably a stupid bet, but it's looking like it's going to hit.
Yeah, but if he didn't,
that means something to them at this point.
You'd have bet it, and then literally the next game he wouldn't have scored.
I feel like it kind of means something at this point for the team and for maybe not for him, maybe more for the team than Derrick himself. But yeah, just go ahead and add Derrick Henry first touchdown score.
That's the play. First touchdown. Yeah,
plus 200.
Did he score in that first? No, because they didn't score a touchdown in the first half, did they?
Oh yeah, Henry last Sunday. Yeah, Henry did.
In the first half?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It was late though, right?
It was second quarter.
It was like at the end. Where the hell's that game at? Yeah, that was their first touchdown. Was in that. I guess it was. Yeah, it was right before the end of the half. Or yeah, because they scored with 1 minute and 16 seconds left. So yeah, if you'd have bet anytime first half touchdown, my God, you'd have been sitting there fucking sweating.
Yeah.
But he got her done. So actually, since I don't know why I'm looking at my phone, I can do it on props. If you go to, that's actually, I'm curious if he scores in the first half like quite frequently. Touchdowns, not passing. Here we go. Anytime TD. Derrick Henry.
Every game so far this season.
What's going on? Oh, it's doing turf. There we go. First half.
That too, if you want to. That shows indifference.
Yeah, that was just. This is on touchdown, so I mean, it doesn't matter. He's scoring on grass or turf.
On grass, turf, concrete.
Yeah. But I mean, shit, he's damn near scored every game first half, other than 4 games. Second half, he's been pretty hot.
They have him minus 275.
First
against
half,
very solid defense.
Yeah.
Minus 275 against a top 10 defense.
Yeah, if they get down in there, though, you know damn well they're giving the ball. They just got to get down in there, and then, yeah, they'll just say, here, Derek, rumble in there, please. So, well, kind of not the greatest way to go over the slate this week, as it's Wednesday, and there's just not a lot of props and stuff up to talk about, unfortunately. Obviously, we'll tweet stuff out as we go to try and update as things get more locked in. Obviously, no Friday show. So I don't think I have a whole lot else to talk about. What about you?
I think a lot of our show is thinking out loud and see what we kind of think as we go through the games. And
yeah,
we did that this week. Don't have too many props. Only have one play so far. Just Mike Evans receiving yards.
Yeah, and there was a couple good spots we talked about.
Spots we like. And
yeah, one was obviously Jaylen Warren receiving yards for Thursday. One that's not up yet, but is Jahmyr Gibbs receiving yards. That kind of like turf grass back and forth thing that we were doing. I like Justin Jefferson over 80.5 because he's 82 on FanDuel. You can get him decent value there already. Just go click the right button on the right book. But probably what we talked, at least from what we were just kind of talking about, is I think you could just do him for like 70 and then Hawkinson at 25, and you'll probably cover yourself. So, or whatever. So yeah, those are probably the things I like right away. Get a -1. Did his line already move on DraftKings? Sure as fuck did. Oh no, it didn't. It's still -115. All right. Well, I think we had a good discussion here. We'll try to update throughout the week. No show on Friday, so thanks everyone for joining us, and we will be back next week.
Thanks.